Alright guys, it's Cammy again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The process finally arrived last night, a 3-hour movie breaking down what was a remarkable season for OpTic Gaming, but so many key storylines coming out of this. Scump's very near return after Major 2, the Pred versus Kenny drama that happened massively behind the scenes last season. Black Ops season is basically now here. We've got loads to talk about today. Very much into your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Wanted to start with a couple of roster things. This is a key one. So Gentlemate are at some point finally going to confirm what their COD roster is going to be. They're going to do it at their keynote, as they're calling it, which is pretty funny. So November the 26th, which is still nearly 2 weeks away, which is remarkable given that we've known the roster, Neptune, Sib, Ghosty, and Envoy, of course, for a very long time at this point, and it's not yet been confirmed. We're thinking maybe they also might reconfirm where the team is going to be based. We'll see whether that happens in due course, but that is officially confirmed yesterday. We also have a couple of other roster updates. This is one of them. So in challenges, we're seeing a few teams start to get confirmed. Next Threat are back. They will have Standy, loaned out by Omit, Johnny, and DiamondCon, Vinny Gage as a coach. They have not confirmed a fourth player on the team. Now, who's the fourth going to be? So, there have been a couple of rumours about this, and all I'll say about it is, Next Threat, every single tournament they've ever played pretty much has featured one specific player, and, well, they may have to get a couple of sleeveless jerseys made. We'll see if that actually comes true in the coming days. Boston Breach. They have a team. It's been made official. Cammy, Purj, Snoopy, Purj, Snoopy, Nastie. They're back. So it's the team that came top 3 at the World Championship last year, right? They made that incredible run, but no Awakening anymore. Nastie's coming in instead. A few comments on this team, really. I like it. Again, I liked it last year. I love the Purj-Snoopy duo ship. I think it could be really good in this game as well. Snoopy's probably just got better every year that he's played. Now he's in, it's kind of his third proper year. He did briefly play Champs, of course. He had that one tournament he played that season. Modern Warfare 2, then he played Modern Warfare 3 fully, Black Ops 6 fully, and now here we are in Black Ops 7. So I'm excited to see if Snoopy can continue to progress. I think that was a great relationship they had last year. Cammy to stay, I think made sense than Awakening. From like an interesting team culture perspective, Shawnee is the head coach, that relationship with Cammy, probably pretty strong. And Nastie's going to join the team as well. So I think the Nastie piece is very interesting here because some would argue, should he have got a better spot than he did? Last year on Surge, you look at his teammates, Neptune ending up on the Gentlemates team that we expect to be pretty competitive. You've got Abuzah and 04 ending up on FaZe. Nastie didn't get an offer from Thieves or from wherever. And would you really expect it? No, someone on those teams that blow up always finds himself in a more challenging spot. But also, I still think Boston could be pretty good. It's difficult to put them any higher than, 7th or something in the power rankings, just given the strength of some of the other teams. But I still think this team could be a threat, certainly as the season goes on. Last year, they pretty much just stuck it out, right? This is a pretty similar roster they've had now for some time. So they've got that experience. And Nastie has been a quality player for the last few years. And, okay, Nastie, Cammy as an AR duo is going to be interesting for sure. Nastie will have to do a fair bit of slaying, I think. But he's definitely capable of that at times. So excited for this Boston team. I'm intrigued to see how they get on. I think they're definitely going to have plenty of upsets in them this year, right? Yeah, they won't be the favourites against many of the big teams in the big series, but they certainly will have some upsets up their sleeve at some point. Speaking of FaZe, year number 8 loading for Simp with that franchise, which is remarkable enough. I guess because technically he joins the team in 2019 going into the 2020 season, so when we're in 2026, effectively, yeah, that's 8 years of being with FaZe. We've got a couple of tournaments coming up as well. I mean, there's going to be plenty. Black Ops 7's practically here. There are going to be loads of tourneys, kickoff tourneys over the next few days. Zinni's running his Spin the Wheel tournament on the 16th and then running his tournament on the 17th, I think. The Flanker doing one on the 17th until the 18th. So this is going to be CDL players only, kind of a switcheroo type thing. We've got Shotzzy, Pred, HyDra, Simp on the graphic, $20,000 prize pool, Hardpoint, Search, and Overload. Notably enough, we will be playing that third game mode when it all gets underway. But let's talk about the process because yeah, it's been a hectic few weeks. The process initially we thought maybe was going to be out in August, then it was September, then it was probably going to be October, then it was November the 11th, then it wasn't the 11th anymore, and it was the 12th instead after a delay for unknown reasons. But it arrived last night, and as Ake says, the first hour 20 was phenomenal. Really enjoyed that. After that, though, didn't watch all that much going forward. So lots of comments on this. If you guys haven't got the chance to watch it yet, of course, I'm sure you will get the chance in due course if you're interested in watching it. Of course, we're going to go through a couple of the clips and the key moments of the story, kind of new things that we learned, new things that we saw behind the scenes that were pretty indicative of the season and have certainly made people's opinions one way or the other. But they put the world premiere out last night. I mean, what a story it was. We saw some great moments here, such as Shotzzy in an elevator back in Madrid, always entertaining. And there was a lot of talk about the quality of the video, right? Because, look, it was 2 hours 52 long. I think parts of it were done sensationally well. The whole video and movie that Roger put together was spectacular. Yeah, people were dialing in on a couple of editing misses maybe here or there. Roger does say that at some point he'll make the Roger cut of it, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if that's going to be even longer than the final cut, but he says, wish I could have made this perfect, but I hope you enjoy the journey the boys took on us this year. Tomorrow it starts again. So pretty interesting. You know, if he had maybe even more time, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think just a great job, look, putting together a 3-hour documentary of the entire season with all of the content to go through and the storylines to manage. Incredibly challenging thing to do, and I think he did very well in the process. Again, people were dialing in on a couple of things. This is pretty funny, I thought. You've got Huke here when he first arrived in the team. He's unboxing the Battle Beaver controller, but, you know, sponsored by Scuff. You can see it in the background. So, you know, just little things like that. But the big question for many was on Purj, right? People wanted to know, are they going to say anything more about the Purj situation? Because Hitch actually confirms that the sit-down interviews here with Kenny, they were recorded after Kenny was no longer on the team, right? So Kenny agreed to come back and sit down and discuss some of the things that had happened. That clearly didn't happen with Purj. You know, for whatever reason, we don't know exactly. But look, Purj didn't sit down and discuss his side of the story on the documentary. I wouldn't expect him to, of course. But because of that, it's not like they're just going to air out everything, right? Because if Purj's not there to kind of give his okay to that, if he's not there to sit down and maybe talk about it from his perspective, then they're not just going to say everything and put it all on the table. But I think they basically said everything that they needed to say here. And, you know, especially this clip here from Dashy, I think pretty much said everything. But, you know, it was a very interesting season because Hex then went on to say, like, damn, when they were obviously having a hard time, maybe they should have just got HyDra, because they could have done. He even talked about it, right? He was like, well, HyDra and Scrappy are available. Yeah, we've just won champs in 24, but maybe we got to think about it. So Hex was talking about that being a serious thought process behind the scenes. He was also furious with the team when they were absolutely terrible. And, you know, I can't blame him, really. I know there was lots of discussion on scenes such as this when Kenny was, well, having his thoughts, let's say, on why things were going so badly wrong. Lots of comments, really, on Kenny and Purj, I think especially during the first hour 20 that Eggs very much so enjoyed. Because, yeah, Kenny was complaining about a lot of different things. Some will argue, you know, shut up, Ken, stop drawing point fours, right? And that is one approach. The other approach, just to say that maybe Kenny had a point. But, yeah, people definitely come away from watching this documentary with opinions either way. Look, I think Kenny did a commendable job for OpTic, and he recognized that when it was time to step away, it was probably time to step away. But also, that all had to do with the whole Purj situation, right? And that was, I thought, the most intriguing thing about certainly what Karma had to say. Because, yeah, Karma is an absolute winner, right? Like, listening to him talk during the course of the season, I thought was very insightful. And he's undoubtedly been a huge component of OpTic's success over the last couple of years, and certainly turning things around the most recent season. But it's very clear that when Purj came back into the team, and even that, they didn't discuss that in great detail. Right? I wouldn't have expected them to be honest. But I'm sure that some were hoping there was a little bit more in there about why Purj came back exactly, or why he was then dropped again. But it was pretty clear that Kenny and Purj were not getting along well. And even Dashy said it explicitly. It was like, look, these guys cannot team together. it's not looking pretty right now. And as soon as Pred was then gone, Kenny comes out and says, damn, we had a productive practice. I don't want to blame it all on one man. But yeah, so clearly it could be seen what he thought about it. Obviously, the OpTic guys, like the OpTic guys that are left, they went on to talk in some more detail. Karma gave his thoughts, and Dashy was like, yeah, the scrims were just atrocious with Pred and Kenny. And Karma even said that, you know, he thinks that aBeZy coming back had a big part of that, which is, it's a remarkable domino effect, right? Because, okay, clearly, based on what the guys are saying, when Pred came back, that chalked up Kenny to a great extent. Let's say Pred never came back and Kenny stayed. Would Kenny still be there today? Would they never have got Mercules, right? So these are kind of the dominoes that are all quite remarkable here. Of course, there was also the Scump storyline, and it was remarkable how much depth they went into here, in the sense that this was very close to happening. Right? We did hear rumors about it earlier in the season that we discussed on the channel, but for Scump to be standing outside the Major 2 venue here in Allen, talking to the camera and saying, well, you know, I kind of want to come back, right? So I'll share these couple of clips right about now.
Again, talking about the AG situation, we just did what was best for not only our team, but for himself. I do believe that we made this decision to it's like we got rid of Pred to help AG, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So he understands that as well, and we're looking out for him just because he's still our brother at the end of the day. You know what I mean? One chance, we have a special relationship, a special bond, and even if we don't play again, it's something that will last forever. And I do hope that he's making or taking care of the things that he has to in his personal life. He knows what he has to do. So wishing the best for him.
My immediate reaction when we started talking about parting ways with Pred was like, fuck, I knew I should have picked up HyDra. But yeah, it was like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I almost wanted to talk about it like later on in the year, where I said, guys, if I would have dropped Kenny and if I would have dropped Pred to pick up Scrap and to pick up HyDra while simultaneously not allowing another super team to be formed, those two dudes didn't team together until this past year. So I could have prevented that. But people would have been mad. It was the wrong thing to do.
Today was actually like some productive ass practice. I feel like I thought that was like a dream for a minute to have productive practice, but now it's like it's actually alive.
That dream is crazy.
I'm not blaming it all on one person, but
that RenkoR felt like a match, bro. I swear to God, like I was getting gassed, dude. I was like,
I was getting gassed. I was gassed for the comeback on the fucking the Miami one was crazy. I was like, holy.
To start off, I don't think Ken is that shit. I don't think he just degressed that bad from fucking, you know, a couple months prior. I mean, I hate to say it, I think AG coming back was like part of that.
The team differences was definitely just AG and Ken just consistently disagreeing with each other. Every day people are just butting heads and they're disagreeing, and I think it's best for just everyone involved that maybe those two just don't team.
What's the
probability that the scupper jumper fucking comes back? Who fucking knows?
who knows?
Well, he didn't say no.
Why now?
Why now? I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why now. A, we can't win. B, it's like the perfect time. It's just the perfect time, honestly. And I kind of miss it a little bit, so we might have some things to figure out. Maybe. I got to talk to the team still. But, well, Hector like kind of threw out the potential idea, and they were both pretty excited. At least that's what Hector said.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to him tonight, I'm sure. Or at least Brandon. I don't think Shotzzy's going to be out, but we'll see what happens.
Was this a one-year thing?
Yeah. If I do come back, it'll be a very, very quick stint. Very quick stint. I think it'll be, again, it's perfect time. There's only 2 majors left. Throw me in there, man. Get me in there.
We have to make a change.
I can't believe our team's not changing. Are they actually not? Yeah, I just texted in. That's absurd. Fuck. Brother, force a change and pick up Mercules before you go to Carolina.
Hit up Mercules. What is status?
Buyout? He's free.
Well, hit him up. Hey, what's your situation? Why not?
You want me to hit him up?
You're the only one here in this fucking office besides me that knows what the fuck to do with this. Okay, fucking somebody needs to reach out to me.
I'll text him right now.
Hit him.
I'm like, yo, what's the situation looking like?
Yeah.
And Ant's like, yo, why is it messaging Mercules? You can't do that.
What can I do?
Bro, I just texted Ant and I was like, bro, I'm sorry, but like, you kind of have to. Because otherwise, like, bro, who cares about making champs? What if they place top 8 champs? Who gives a fuck if they make champs then?
This was the after party at Major 2 in Dallas, and I remember seeing Scump and, you know, like TJ and all these at this table having a chat, but we had no idea at the time that this was a conversation about potentially coming back into the league. So, yeah, it would have been a storyline and a half. Of course, never transpired in that way, and GM Zinni, he definitely made some moves to help make that happen, right? So I thought, I mean, even this was a pretty interesting setup, right? So Hex is kind of saying to Zinni, like, all right, look, you better hit him up and see what's going to happen here, right? Hey, what's your situation? And this is also an interesting comment. You're the only one here at this office besides me who knows what to do. And Scump's like standing right there being like, Dav, come on, Hector. But anyway, Zinni then, of course, texts him. I thought what Zinni said as well about, look, if these guys don't want to make a change because they don't want to deal with the backlash and they're going to make champs, congratulations, and then bomb out at champs, then who cares, right? So Zinni, of course, then sent the messages and, yeah, the rest is history, right? So brilliant piece of content. I thought very insightful from many different ways. This was a great piece as well when Dashy was rewatching that Scump retirement speech before heading onto the stage. So yeah, heartstrings for sure at the end of the video. You're never going to find a more incredible storyline than this. Of course, they wanted most of the focus to be on the World Championship. They didn't spend as much time on the World Cup than maybe some people were wanting. But, you know, I think champs and that redemption story was probably the big thing. And that's it, right? So that's one OpTic season, certainly one for the history books. And now eyes forward, because the race has begun pretty much. Black Ops 7 is practically here. I mean, in New Zealand time, I think it already is here, right? So people are cracking on. And, well, the tournaments will start in due course, I'm sure. So the race is underway. BO7 is here. Next few days are going to be hectic. There's going to be lots going on, lots of reaction to the game, lots of thoughts on the new maps, the way that things are playing out, and especially kickoff tournaments leading into the CDL in a couple of weeks' time. So probably from tomorrow, certainly the next day, we'll be back to double daily uploads on the channel. Thanks for all the support in the off-season getting to this point, because it's been a longer one than normal, I think, and I dropped down to only doing one video a day for the last couple of weeks, but that has actually done really well. So yeah, probably next off-season we'll do something similar, but we should be back to regular scheduled programming because there's going to be a lot going on in the coming days. Thanks for watching as always, take care, and I'll see you next time.